Now, last week I bashed the Republicans for having what I called eunuchs. Well, let me tell you something. I'll take a God-fearing eunuch over an atheistic communist any day, because the eunuchs aren't going to put me into the gulag while these evildoers will. It's as simple as that to me. There are many other stories that I have to tell you about this experience of mine last night. That was only the beginning. I was the only one who looked at that marker in the dark of the night. And I looked at it and I saw, in memory of those, you can go there yourself if you come to San Francisco, in memory of those who died on D-Day, there was this marker stone within 10 feet of where this young religious Jewish couple was being married. I could not believe it. The symbolism was overwhelming. I knew that there was a reason for it. I knew that God's hand was involved in this wedding. I knew that God's hand was involved in my going, because I wasn't going to go. I thought I'd go, then I wasn't going to go. I didn't really want to make the effort. It was too far. It was too cold. And then something occurred where I said, I will go, and I went. And I know I went for a reason. That was the reason. I went to bring to you today on the radio not only that story, but other stories that I will tell you today that will shock you and lift you up perhaps for the rest of your life. Because I met men who had lived through what Obama is trying to bring to America. They lived through the ex-Soviet Union's terrors. They lived through the nationalization of private property, where their grandfathers were thrown out of their own houses and the houses were given to the state to put the equivalent of the welfare recipient in their homes. They lived through persecution where Bibles were burned and Jewish rituals were denied. They lived through the denial of God in the Soviet Union. And one after the other told me stories that lifted me up. They told me that in the worst of times, they never hated God. In the worst of times, they never cursed God. In the worst of times, they never cursed God. And they told me other stories. One of them said to me that you have one of the most unique roles on the planet. I didn't know the man. He's known as a mystical rabbi of some sort. I never heard of him before, but he and I got along greatly. And he said, look me right in the eye. He held on to my hands and he said, you, Michael Savage, have one of the most unique and important roles in America today. He said, the world is in balance. And he said, your job is very important. I said, well, what is my job? He said, your job is to be the bridge between God and man. Well, I said, I can't believe that. He said, well, you better believe it, because that's what you've been doing on the radio. Do you think it happened for nothing? I'll be right back.